Hello, let's imagine and learn with this amazing podcast. Chapter 4, Reproductive Health. According to World Health Organization, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, that is physical, emotional, behavioral or social. Programs called family planning were initiated in 1951 and were periodically assessed over the past decades. Improved programs covering wider reproduction related areas are currently in operation under the popular name Reproductive and Child Health Care RCH programs. Successful implementation of various action plans to attain reproductive health requires strong infrastructural facilities, professional expertise, and material support. These are essential to provide medical assistance and to care people in reproduction related problems like pregnancy, delivery, STDs, abortion, contraception, menstrual problems, infertility, etc. Implementation of better techniques and new strategies from time to time and also required to provide more efficient care and assistance to people. Statutory ban on amniocentesis for sex determination to legally check increasing menace of female feticide, massive child immunization, etc. are some programs that merit mention in this connection. In amniocentesis, some of the amniotic fluid of the developing fetus is taken to analyze the fetal cells and dissolved substances. This procedure is used to test for the presence of certain genetic disorders such as Down syndrome, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, etc. Determine the survivability of the fetus. Do you know that Saheli, a new oral contraceptive for the females, was developed by scientists at Central Drug Research Institute CDRI in Lucknow, India? A rapid decline in death rate, maternal mortality rate, and infant mortality rate, as well as an increase in number of people in reproducible age are probable reasons for this increase in population. Let us describe some of the commonly used contraceptive methods which help prevent unwanted pregnancies. An ideal contraceptive should be user-friendly, easily available, effective and reversible with no or least side effects. It also should no way interfere with the sexual drive, desire, sexual act of the user. A wide range of contraception methods are presently available which could be broadly grouped into following categories, namely natural traditional methods, barrier methods, IUDs, oral contraceptives, injectables, implants, and surgical methods. Natural method work on the principle avoiding chances of ovum and sperm meeting. Periodic abstinence is one of the such method in which the couples avoid or abstain from coitus from day 10 to 17 of the menstrual cycle. Withdrawal or coitus interrupts is another method in which the male partner withdraws his penis from the vagina just before the ejaculation so as to avoid insemination. Lactational amenorrhea, that is absence of menstruation, method is based on the fact that ovulation and therefore the cycle do not occur during the period of intense lactation following parturition. In barrier methods, ovum and sperms are prevented from physically meeting from the help of barriers. Such methods are available for both males and females. Condoms are the barriers made of thin rubber latex sheath that are used to cover the penis in the male or female, and in female case the cervix is covered by the condoms. Use of condoms has increased in recent years due to its additional benefit of protecting the user from contracting STIs and AIDS. Both the male and female condoms are disposable, can be self-inserted and thereby gives privacy to the user. Diaphragms, cervical caps and vaults are also barriers made of rubber that are inserted in the female reproductive tract to cover the cervix during coitus. Another effective and popular method is the use of intrauterine devices. These devices are inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through vagina. These intrauterine devices are presently available as the non-medicated IUDs, for example lips loop, copper-releasing IUDs, for example CUT, CU7, Multiload 375, and the hormone-releasing IUDs, for example Progestasert LNG20, IUDs increase phagocytosis of sperms within the uterus, and the Cu ions, copper ions, released suppress sperm motility and the fertilizing capacity of sperm. The hormone releasing IUDs in addition make the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to the sperms. Or oral administration of small doses of either progestogen or progestogen estrogen combination is another contraceptive pill used by the females. They are used in the form of tablets, hence the popularly called pills. Pills have to be taken daily for the period of 21 days, starting preferably within the first 5 days of menstrual cycle. Saheli, the new oral contraceptive for the females, contains a non-steroidal preparation. It is a once a week pill with very few side effects and high contraceptive value. Progestrogens alone or in combination with estrogen can also be used by females as injections or implants under the skin. Their mode of action is similar to that of pills and their effective periods are much longer. Administration of progestrogens or progestogen estrogen combinations or IUDs within 72 hours of coitus have been found very effective as emergency contraceptives. Surgical methods, for example, sterilization procedure in the male is called vasectomy and that in the female called tubectomy. In vasectomy, a small part of the vas deferens is removed or tied up through a small incision on the scrotum, whereas in the tubectomy, a small part of fallopian tube is removed or tied up through a small incision in the abdomen. Medical termination of pregnancy, MTP. Intentional or voluntary termination of pregnancy before full term is called medical termination of pregnancy. Nearly 45 to 50 million MTPs are performed in a year all over the world, which accounts 1/5 of the total number of conceived pregnancies in a year. Government of India legalized MTP in 1971 with some strict conditions to avoid its misuse. Such restrictions are called important to check indiscriminate and illegal female feticide, which are reported to be high in India. MTPs are essential in certain cases where continuation of pregnancy could be harmful or even fatal either to the mother or the fetus or both. MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester, that is up to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Second trimester abortions are much more riskier. One disturbing trend observed in the majority of MTPs are performed illegally by unqualified quacks, which are not only unsafe but could be fatal too. Sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Infections or diseases which are transmitted through sexual intercourse are collectively called sexual transmitted infections, STI. These are also called venereal diseases, VD, or reproductive tract infections, RTI. Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and of course, the most discussed infection in recent years, HIV, leading to AIDS, are some of the common STIs. Among these, HIV infection is most dangerous. Some of these infections like hepatitis B and HIV can also be transmitted by sharing of injection needles, surgical instruments, example infected person, transfusion of blood, or from an infected mother to the fetus. One can be free from these different infections with the following of simple principles like avoid sex with unknown partners, multiple partners, avoid the unprotected sex. In case of doubt, one should go to qualified doctor for early detection and get complete treatment if diagnosed with infection. Infertility. Our discussion on reproductive health is incomplete without a mention of infertility. Large number of couples all over the world, including India, are infertile. They are unable to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual cohabitation. The reason for this could be many physical congenital diseases, drugs, immunological or physiological. These couples are assisted to have children through certain special techniques commonly called as assistive reproductive technology, ART. In vitro fertilization, IVF, fertilization outside the body is almost similar conditions as that of body. followed by embryo transfer (ET) is one of the such methods. In this method, popularly known as test tube baby program, ova from the wife donor या female जो भी female है and sperms from the husband donor male are collected and are induced in form zygote under the simulated conditions in the laboratory. The zygote or early embryos with up to 8 blastomeres could then be transferred into the fallopian tube (ZIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer), and embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into uterus (IUT, intrauterine transfer). To complete its further development, embryos formed by in vivo fertilization, fusion of gametes within the female, also could be used for such transfer to assist those females who cannot conceive. Transfer of an ovum collected from a donor into the fallopian tube, gift gamete, and intrafallopian transfer of another female who cannot produce one but can provide suitable environment for fertilization and further development is another method attempted. Intracytoplasmic sperm injection (ICSI) is another specialized procedure to form an embryo in the laboratory in which a sperm is directly injected into the ovum. Infertility cases, either due to inability of the male partner to inseminate the female or due to very low sperm counts in the ejaculates, could be corrected by artificial insemination technique. In this technique, the semen collected either from the husband or a healthy donor is artificially introduced into the vagina or the uterus (IUI, intrauterine